This is the Sports Hit List by the fans for the fans.
I'm walking around New York City this past weekend, and like I put like a little Nick jersey on my dog, just walking around, right? I'm just like, all right, let's walk around the city, let's see how it is. Consistently, people are coming up like, oh, Knicks in 4, Knicks in 5, like you mentioned, Carl. Or they're like, excuse my language here, they're like, we're taking belt to ass. We don't even care what the Spurs are doing. We don't even care about Wemby. And I'm like, all right, guys, let's take it easy here. Let's just relax, take a few steps back here. I get it. I'm like, I get how people are excited, but I'm like, this is a very good Spurs team. And I know the Knicks have been on like a crazy run right now, like historical run at this point, like points, points margin, all that kind of stuff. But I'm like Zig said to start off, I do feel confident though. Like these are two teams that met during the regular season, like Mike said, but where they are in the postseason is completely different though. Like the Knicks again are playing such a high level right now, and the Spurs have that confidence where they're like, we don't have to circle the drain. We've we've shown that we can beat teams. They beat the Timberwolves, who went to the Western Conference Finals last season. They beat the defending champions. They got rid of a Trailblazers team that was probably thinking like, hey, we could steal a game or two when Wemby went down, and they couldn't even do that. So I'm excited for this series. I definitely think, again, going back to Mike and Andre's point, OG definitely has a size advantage over some of the guards. But in Game 7, those Spurs guards, they showed up, because I thought at a certain point when Wemby was a little struggling in the second quarter, third quarter, where they were like, they kind of took the reins and like, hey, we can do this. Like, it's not just Wemby, it's the rest of us too. Like, he's a generational talent. Don't get me wrong, but they were like, we can do this. Fox, Champagne was hitting shots. Vassell and Castle also trying to do their thing. So I'm like, it's going to be fun to watch this series.
Mm. Ziggs, how you feeling on the crosstown? And you the other Nick fan, and as far as just being here in the moment, what are your thoughts? What are you processing as we anticipate Game 1?
As we anticipate game one, I'm looking across both rosters and just trying to identify, which player is going to be guarding which player, which defender is going to be on which defender. Just trying to figure out, what advantages we actually have over San Antonio, because there are some, and like the brothers already said, for me personally, it's kind of hard to pull from the regular season because, as Mike alluded to, there were so many different variables as opposed to now. I think even back then, December 31st, we still had Yabusele on the team. That was a totally different Knicks team. Cat wasn't really running his point forward scheme then. So now we're seeing all of this come to play here in the NBA playoffs. And like I said in the beginning, I'm confident in the fact that the Knicks can do it. I'm not going to go ahead and throw a prediction out there yet. I do agree that there are some fans out there that's swallowing a little bit. I don't know anything about no 4-0 sweep. There's still that little trepidation of me as a Knicks fan that's like, all right, yo, relax, take it easy. Don't go too far with it. But there are some different things that I would like to see taking place, mainly Cat, right? I want to see if Cat can be able to still play that point forward role and as well guard Wemby, because as much as people think that, OG is going to be the primary defender, I think it's going to be Cat. I think OG, as Mike was watching the games, I think OG was the primary defender in one game, and that was the NBA Cup game. As far as the season go, it was really Cat that was guarding Wemby. So it's going to be imperative that Cat stays out of foul trouble, because he's going to be essential. I'm just going to call it right now. I think he's the X factor for the Knicks in being able to knock down those open threes and being able to find the cutters when they, when the defense is zoning on him. I'm not even really worried about Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson's going to do what he's going to do. I think he's a different point guard from Shea in the sense that he could get his points from anywhere on the floor, and he's not afraid to pull up and hit that three. Shea's not. That's not really in Shea's bag like that. So I'm not worried there, but I just want to see what Cat is going to do, and if he could just continue this effectiveness that he's been showing all playoffs, because we're going to need him.
Yeah.
No one's talking
No,
about
go ahead,
Mitch.
sir.
No one's talking about Mitchell Robinson.
Mm.
As you said, Carl, game one he should be ready to go. Hopefully we'll see, because there's a lot of things that's being said there about, it's the pinky connected to the wrist, and then now you're talking about grip control and being able to catch alley-oops and offensive boards. So that's something to look at too.
Yeah, I mean, from when I spoke to you guys last week, my understanding was that he had the surgery and he was going to play. I haven't heard anything otherwise than that, unless someone has any other breaking news that hasn't been told. My understanding is it's going to wrap up. He had surgery. I just find it a little awkward though that no one is saying what happened. I remember a point in time when Stoudemire broke his hand on the fire extinguisher, and we all knew about it. But it's kind of awkward. Like, shout out to Won't. Like, no one is saying. They're just saying it's a dumb injury, and I'm kind of like, why are they protecting what he did? They must have been really, really, really dumb. That
because the media would kill him.
They would. But again, I'm saying they're protected. Like, someone has to. Like, we always usually find out.
Well, remember, we just recently found out he's been struggling with his mental health. So this
maybe they're giving him a pass. Yeah.
So the Knicks wouldn't leak why he did it because, like Zig said, if the media is going to kill him and he's already going through things mentally, you don't want the way this society works. Yeah, you don't want people piling on him now.
I got 3 things to say. Number 1, if the Knicks win game 1, that doesn't mean that the Knicks are going to win the series. If the Spurs win game 1, that doesn't mean the Spurs are going to win the series. Let's just get that out of the way right now. And number 2, Mike Breen, man. Shout out Mike Breen, dog. Deadass. Shout out Mike Breen, man. He's been a Knicks fan since probably he was born. He gets to go his first NBA Finals with the Knicks in it 20 years later. I'm happy for that guy. And
real quick on that, Ziggs, Dexter just interviewed him, by the way. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, if you check out Dexter's on New York Post video, like he interviewed Mike Breen. Yeah, he did.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. Go ahead, Andres.
And number 3, it's okay to show emotion. I saw so many people upset that Wemby was crying on Saturday night. I'm like, yo, you guys don't like sports, man.
Mike actually said something to me about that. I had to check him about it.
He did.
What's your take, Mike?
No, because at first I was like, yo, my man, you ain't win the championship. Why are you crying, man? You ain't win the championship, my man. The call was like, yo, he young. He been wanting this his whole life. I was like, I'm going to give a young boy a pass. But I was like, yo, my man.
Again, and to follow that, I think I sent it to everyone when he said, like this is life to me. He was like, this is a matter of like
that's fire. So that's a fire quote.
What did he say? He said he wants it so bad. He's like, you just can tell how much like he cares. And I said to you guys, you don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
Andres, what's the third thing?
No, that was it. Mike Breen, Wemby, and the game 1 narrative from fans.
Reg, anything that we felt like we haven't talked about that needs to be addressed?
Actually, going back to Zig's point about the Knicks having a take over when Wemby goes to the bench, Luke Cornett, whenever he got on the floor against OKC, I feel like those are always like it was just like the same. Like OKC didn't take advantage of that. OKC like Chet or Hardenstein, I was like, if he comes into the game and the Spurs go up 5 or they go up 10, I'm like, you lost the game right there. He can't get on the floor and the team there, whether it's the Knicks or OKC going backwards. And I feel like every single time he got on the floor, the Spurs were just doing well or playing the same. Like it wasn't like, oh, he's on the floor, we're gonna beat the Spurs by 30. And I feel like going back to Zig's point, like that has to happen. Whenever they go to that bench, the Knicks have to find a way to really just go at them.
Mike, are you rounding out your notes?
I'm trying to synthesize everything. I got a lot, bro. So I got at least 3 more. So when I talked earlier about the Knicks' pathway to winning, I believe is through, we say, mucking up the game, but I think it is the Knicks winning all the intangibles, all the loose balls, all of the grunt work. I think has to favor the Knicks because I do not think if you match talent for talent, the Knicks have the equivalent talent than the Spurs. So I think that's their pathway to win. When you look at that first game, the December 15th game in the Cup, a lot of what the Knicks did, particularly, was the scrappiness, those second chance points. The Spurs were dominating most of the game, but the Knicks kept staying involved. They had 30-second chance points. So it's just simple hustle plays, just grinding it out. Similar to how the Knicks have always been winning these past 3 or 4 years with this iteration. Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, OG, a lot of underdog energy. And I think that benefits the Knicks. I mentioned this in the last series, was that I think it helps the Knicks if they're the underdogs. And I think the Vegas odds has the Spurs. So I think that's one thing the Knicks can do. In terms of the head of the snake, which is Jalen Brunson, I do not think he is going to have a good series. But I will say the reason why is Stephon Castle can actually defend him. In many ways, Jalen Brunson, and Zig mentioned it earlier, he's a slightly faster but shorter Shea. They score pretty much the exact same way. Jalen Brunson can hit the three. He does not take the three at a high clip. So he's mostly going to try to work in the mid-range and try to get to his left hand. So in many ways, while it's a different look, Stephon Castle can stay in front of him, can guard him. When you look at that March 1st game, Jalen Brunson was playing terrible the first quarter. Stephon Castle went out with 2 fouls. So the refereeing is going to matter in this series. As soon as Stephon Castle went out, this is similar to what Zig and Reg are saying about when Wemby comes out and Chet comes in. Dylan Harper, while big enough, can guard Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson scored 11 points in a minute and a half. It was a 20. They went from being down 12 to up 1. And then in that second quarter, they blew the Spurs out. So how are the refs going to be reffing these games? If they give Jalen Brunson, who's a little bit on a lower level of flopping Shea, if they give Jalen Brunson a favorable whistle, this helps the Knicks. If they let it be just a physical game, like OG gets to be physical with Wemby and Stephon Castle gets to be physical with Jalen Brunson, then the Knicks are at a considerable disadvantage because Jalen Brunson normally gets to use his shoulder, use these different moves. Well, with the Spurs guards, he's not going to be able to overpower them physically, so he's going to have a favorable whistle. So I think that helps, and especially Stephon Castle getting 2 feet in the paint. When you watch these series, again, you can't take everything from these games, but the one thing that he does is he gets to the paint. If he gets to the paint, what the Knicks will experience that they didn't experience in 2 of the 3 games is Julian Champagnie is starting, not Harrison Barnes. That's their best shooter, so it creates a different look. But overall, man, like I said, I could spend hours and hours talking about this series. That's why I'm excited. This series is going to be incredible.
Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. In fact, do it now.